Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com, and this is a little video about a psychic flash that I had yesterday about who's going to win the US elections. Now, I have been asking this question for the past 2 years on and off, and I've had a lot of visions and dreams about it, but I haven't had anything that is like 100% definitive. And that is because just a couple of days ago I had another dream, and it was a map of the US, and there was all these different colours like lilac and tangerine that were swirling and constantly moving. There was a lot of grey in that map that I could see, and to me that is people who are not voting. So please go out and vote. It's really important that whatever the decision is, that it's not really close, because violence is likely, and I would hate to see anybody get hurt. So please go and vote. Make that decision clear cut so people know for sure. We don't have a situation where someone wins the electoral college and someone different wins the popular vote, as what happened in 2016 when Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Yes, I know you're going to write in the comments it's not true. It actually is true. Okay, 3.5 million, more than 3.5 million votes, Hillary Clinton won the popular vote. Okay, so please put your dislikes in now and write it in the comments. Okay, so let's come up to this flash that I had yesterday. I thought I'd just lay down because we've only got a week now to go, and it's likely that I'll get more and more as we get closer. Often I get stuff, I wake up in the morning, and if it's really important it'll wake me up at 3 or 4 in the morning, and I'll get it on the day that it's going to happen or the day before, so quite close to the situation. And so I just thought I'll have a lay down yesterday, and straight away I had this sort of download of information. So we'll go to the board and have a look at that. But if you are new, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, so going to the board. Look at this beautiful artwork that I've managed to put together. Isn't it amazing? Okay, maybe not. All right, first thing I noticed when I was cutting out Donald's image here was something that he has going on with his Mercury finger and his Apollo finger. I've got the same thing. So if you just put your hand like that and see how your hand falls. And I've got it in both hands. See the gap there between the little pinky finger and the forefinger, which is called the Apollo finger, okay? He's got the same thing happening. And if you're left-handed, then you would, if you were doing palmistry, you'd read off your left hand because that's your free will and your volition. If you're right-handed, you'd read off your right hand because that's your free will and volition. But the other hand is very important because it represents your subconscious. But anyway, this gap here that we both have is all about independence. You cannot tell us what to do. You can suggest things, and especially with me because I'm a Libran and we like to be cooperative. Trump is a Gemini, so he doesn't have this extra bit that I've got, but we like to be cooperative, so we'll listen to people. He will not listen to people. If someone says something he doesn't like, he'll just cut them off, right? So he's not interested in cooperating with people. So this independent streak, and it doesn't matter what people say, we follow our own guidance, basically, which to me, that's a good thing, okay? Now, in the flash I had, he's on an escalator and he's going up to the top and he's waving like that. Straight away when I saw this, I knew it was a reference to 2016 or 2015, whatever it was, when he was coming down the escalator and Melania was like 2 meters away from him and he was waving hello to everybody, and that was when he announced his candidacy, okay? But this time he's going up the escalator and he gets almost to the top where, that's the bit that downloaded, gets maybe a meter from the top. And then at the top of the stairs was all these blue curtains, okay? And it was the same colour blue as the American flag. So on your monitor, it might actually look really bright blue, but the texture I've used is not bright, but on my monitor I can see it looks quite bright. So it's curtains. That's where he's headed. He's only like 1 to 2 meters away from the curtains, okay? Now, the thing is, we don't know what the time is. What is the timeline of this escalator? Is it 10 years? Is it 1 month? Is it 10 days? We don't know. However, one thing I know from experience, because I've been reading for 1,000 years or more, is that when I see something in a reading and it's close, I know it's going to happen very soon. So if something is 1 to 2 meters away in my mind, in my third eye, when I'm reading and I see a clairvoyant flash, 1 to 2 meters is normally like days to weeks. It's not months. So it's not a matter of months that he's going to hit curtains, okay? It's in the next few days to few weeks. So you would say somewhere between 5 days and maybe 4 weeks, something like that. Look, the only major thing that we know about that's happening is the election. So this is probably the strongest evidence that I've had so far that he is going to lose the election. I have had dozens and dozens of flashes. And just a couple of days before that, I saw rows and rows of coffins. And if you've been following me here on YouTube, you'll know that I've seen this before. These rows of coffins are senators who are going to lose their seats, okay? It doesn't mean that they physically die, but what it does mean is the death of the ego, the death of a major part of a person's life. So it's curtains doesn't mean that he's going to physically die, but it does mean that something very important to him is going to happen. It's the end of the act, okay? He's reached almost a metre to go, 2 at the most, and it's curtains, okay? So I think he's waving goodbye. I just don't know how else I can interpret that. See, he goes up like that, waving, and then he's coming to the final. That's the final act. Now, a couple of days before that, I had some more flashes. And so these rows of coffins, and then I saw a bald-headed man with the top half of his head cut off. I've actually written it here in my diary, but my drawing's obviously not very good. The top half of the head is missing. Okay, the thing about this was I didn't see the man's face. This is the winner of the election, and I didn't see his face, so I can't determine who it is, but I know it's somebody who doesn't think very logically at the moment. It's somebody in cognitive decline, and I know that because he's only got half a brain here, and the issue about that is, I know very well because when I was studying psychology decades ago, I actually did neuroscience, and it's only the top quarter of an inch of the skin of the brain, which is called the association cortex, that does the logical thinking. And so when all of that is missing, they don't think the same way as anybody else who has that extra full brain, if you know what I mean. Okay, the other issue was, this was a bald man that I saw, and I was like, well, who is it, Trump or Biden? There's only 2. There's no actual bald man running. And so I went back and looked on Google at photos, and I saw, what struck me was I saw Trump going up into the aircraft, walking up the stairs, and there was a big gust of wind, and it blew his hair in all these different directions, and you could see very clearly he was bald at the back. So he does a comb over to cover the bald spots. So I thought, oh, is Trump going to win because there's the bald spot? But then I went and looked at Biden, and he also has a bald spot. So they're both balding. They're both very tall men. I went and looked at photos of Biden and Trump. There's hardly any of them together, okay? And the other thing with Biden is often he's stooping or bending over, so you can't tell how tall he is. And you can't trust what Google actually says either, because it's, Trump says he's 6'3". Well, he's not 6'3" because Pierre Trudeau, sorry, not Pierre, that shows my age, doesn't it? his son, Justin Trudeau, you know, the really good-looking one, he is 6'1.5", and you know, he's fractionally taller than Trump. So Trump's about 6'1", or maybe 6'1.5" inch, or something like that. And because you don't see Biden and Trump together, it's really hard to tell how tall Biden is. But I did see some pictures of Biden with Obama, and you know, they're about the same height, or maybe Biden's a bit shorter. So Biden's around the same height as Trump, maybe half an inch difference. But whichever way you look at it, they're both tall men. So that doesn't tell me who's going to win the election. A tall, bald man. They're both tall and balding. So this is the kind of thing that I've been getting for the last few years. These indirect associations with whoever's going to win, but not definitive. So that's why I think that this flash that I had yesterday is the closest thing to a prediction thus far. Because we haven't got very long to go now, I'm hopeful that as the days go on, I will get more and more clarity. But if you ask me who do I think will win, I've got to say it's Biden, okay? Because Trump is saying goodbye to something right now. But, you know, he's pulled off miracles before. Everybody wrote him off in 2016 as well, and the polls were wrong. And the polls could be wrong this time as well. But I do trust my dreams and my psychic flashes. So that's it. That's my prediction. Biden will win. If you don't like it, please write it in the comments. And thanks for watching. If you're new, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that notification bell right now. No doubt I'll get more and more over the next few days, and I will post what I get. I'm about to go on with Capricorn tarot reading for November, so do stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and bye for now. Don't forget my new channel, Truth Reality You. I'll have more going on that soon. Thank you, and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.